Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. We had lots of cloud cover in the forecast today. We also had some temperatures that were near seasonal and a few degrees above. You had some low 70s. That was for Valley Center as well as for Escondido. We also had 69 degrees today for Ramona. So what's typical for this time of the year west of the mountains, those 60s. And we had a lot of those 60s popping up, but we also had 73 degrees for El Cajon, 71 degrees for La Mesa today and for Borrego Springs. For Borrego Springs, that was right on the money for a seasonal high. The same for downtown at 67 degrees. A few degrees above seasonal, that was for Ramona at 69 degrees. But Ramona and a lot of areas east of the 15 are going to be warming up once we get into tomorrow. So we had the high clouds for today, but we're looking at a lot more sunshine by tomorrow. Warm temperatures start tomorrow as well, going above seasonal for this time of the year. We also have Santa Ana winds that are going to help with that warm up and dry us out, bringing the humidity values down to about 10 to 20% by the afternoon hours. That's going to be each afternoon that takes us all the way into Saturday. So we are going to be talking about the fire weather concern, but it is low. We still have high fuel moisture because of the winter rainfall that we had, even though we've been taking a break from some pretty active weather over the past couple of weeks. We're still in a good spot. The fire weather concerns, as mentioned, will still be present, but they're going to be low. We have onshore flow that picks up in our forecast. That's going to be on Sunday, and then that takes us into the start of next week. So we have this area of low pressure. It's a weak disturbance sitting just towards the southwest of us. It brought in a swath of subtropical moisture. We saw those high clouds roll in yesterday evening. We saw them throughout the day for today. But once we get into the overnight hours, that's when we start to get a little bit more of a clearing from the southwest all the way towards, or excuse me, from the northwest all the way down towards the southeast overnight. For your overnight lows, 48 degrees expected for Escondido, also at 50 degrees for Poway, the same for downtown and for Chula Vista. You have 39 degrees expected for Ramona, 46 degrees that's going to be for Palomar Mountain, and 48 degrees for Borrego Springs. When we get into our highs for tomorrow, ridge of high pressure amplifies. All the 60s that we had for the North County coastline turn into 70s by tomorrow. Also talking about switching those numbers around. 67 degrees, that's a seasonal high for downtown. Now you're talking 76 by tomorrow. Also a return to some 80s. We're seeing that for Escondido as well as for Fallbrook and for El Cajon. 80 degrees for Ramona, where today it was 69 degrees. So we definitely had the cloud cover factoring in. But once we get to a lot more sunshine and mostly clear skies over the next couple of days, that is going to lead to our temperatures quickly warming up and being above seasonal. For your surf forecast, about 2 to 3 feet and a low risk of rip currents at our local beaches. So we have this area of high pressure that moves in, but remember that area of low pressure I mentioned, that weak disturbance sitting just towards the southwest of us. That's the reason we had the high clouds today. They're going to close in on each other. As a result, you have two systems that are complete opposites, and you can see the circulation. It's a clockwise with high pressure, counterclockwise with low pressure. But what direction does that translate to? Offshore. So basically easterly flow that picks up. It's going to be offshore winds as these two systems move closer towards us, triggering those Santa Ana winds back in our forecast. It does not look to be a strong wind event, but it is going to be drying us out, and it's also going to be supplying the warmth. Those two systems will stay close to each other as we head into the weekend, start of the weekend for Saturday. It's not until the second half that we start to have more of an onshore push with our winds, and that's going to allow more clouds to push through as well as dropping our temperatures a little bit. So you have offshore flow that starts to pick up by tomorrow morning. You have those gusts into the 20s and teens. You're seeing that for Fallbrook as well as for Oceanside, and 29 miles per hour for Julian. This is around 7:35 for tomorrow morning. We continue to have bouts of Santa Ana winds in our forecast, become a little bit more intense with those two systems a little bit closer towards us by Friday, bringing in that drier air, and that's also why we're looking at warmer temperatures, even warmer as we hit Friday's forecast. You have 22 miles per hour. That's going to be for Escondido. That's 27 miles per hour for Ramona. You also have the 30s picking up for Julian as well as for Campo. Even right there along the desert mountain slopes, or excuse me, coastal mountain slopes, you could get some of those gusts into the 40s, and that's around 3:30 on Friday. So we'll continue to have these bouts of Santa Ana winds in our forecast that take us into the start of the weekend. And as I mentioned, the second half brings onshore flow. So you have 76 degrees tomorrow for the coast. You're staying in those 70s. You're back into the 60s for the coast by Sunday, back to something a little bit closer to seasonal by Monday of next week. And then we have the cloud cover that's still going to be around. Morning cloud cover, afternoon sunshine. That's going to be by Tuesday. And with high pressure building in again, it brings warmer temperatures back to 77 degrees. That'll be Wednesday of next week for the coast. You have the 80s across the inland valleys. Then you see a little bit more with the passing clouds, morning cloud cover as well. And that's with the return of the marine layer, bringing our 80s back into the 70s, even the low 70s for Monday of next week. And then we have those 80s back in the forecast by Wednesday. So to wrap up our final days of January, you have the 60s for the mountains, but you're still holding on to those 60s into the start of February. The only difference is you're going to see a few more passing clouds. You have the 70s for tomorrow for the desert. You're back into the 80s starting on Friday. You continue to have those 80s all the way until Tuesday and back into the 70s, and that'll be starting on Wednesday of next week. I hope you have a great night, and thanks for tuning in.